Patrick and Thaís are not facing a single crisis. They're facing several at the same time, and that's the real issue. It's not just money, it's not just trust, it's the accumulation. The domino effect, when everything starts collapsing at once and no one knows where to begin fixing it. When a couple starts arguing about everything, the problem is usually no longer the topic of the fight. It's the emotional exhaustion underneath it. Right now, Patrick and Thaís are living in survival mode, and that's not marriage, that's endurance. It begins with something seemingly simple, a shopping trip. Thaís comes home with bags, nothing hidden, nothing dishonest. But Patrick's reaction isn't mild concern, it's alarm, irritation, defensiveness. Money has become a trigger, not because it doesn't exist, but because it no longer sustains the lifestyle they once had. Patrick has always been presented as a successful salesman, big houses, nice cars, financial confidence. But now we see him stressed, calculating expenses, measuring shopping bags. The image no longer matches reality. And when money shifts, power inside a relationship often shifts with it. Patrick says things aren't like they used to be, and he's right. Before, there was no child, no diapers, no constant expenses, no daily exhaustion. Having a baby doesn't just change finances. It changes emotional dynamics and exposes everything that used to stay hidden. Thaís offers a logical solution. She wants to work, contribute, return to modeling. This isn't impulsive. It's something she's done before. But Patrick doesn't hear a solution, he hears a threat. To him, modeling isn't work, it's exposure, risk, temptation. And that's where the conversation stops being financial and becomes emotional. Patrick isn't arguing about income, he's arguing about control. The difference matters. This might not be a good idea, is negotiation. I won't allow it as control. And once a couple moves from negotiation to imposition, the conflict becomes structural. Patrick associates Thaís' independence and body with infidelity, attention with danger, autonomy with loss, and that doesn't come from her, it comes from his past. He admits he was cheated on in previous relationships, more than once. That unresolved trauma now shapes how he interprets everything. Every action Thaís takes passes through suspicion. And the most damaging part is that Patrick doesn't separate past from present. Thaís isn't the person who hurt him, but she's the one paying the emotional cost. When Thaís points out that the real issue is lack of trust, Patrick shuts down. He walks away, says he'll handle it alone, work more, carry the burden himself. That sounds responsible, but it isn't. It's avoidance. It shuts her out and leaves her alone with frustration. She's not asking for permission. She's asking to be heard. The pattern continues outside the house. Thaís goes out with friends, normal, healthy behavior. Within minutes, Patrick calls, not to check in, but to monitor. That's not concern, that's surveillance. Thaís explains she's with friends, nothing to hide, but the problem is that she feels she has to explain it all. When someone constantly feels the need to justify themselves, the relationship has crossed a dangerous line. The distrust reaches intimacy. Patrick measures love through sex. No sex means suspicion. Fatigue means doubt. One day without intimacy means paranoia. That turns sex into obligation, into proof. Desire doesn't survive obligation. Patrick openly believes that if they're not having sex, Thaís must be cheating. This isn't silent insecurity, it's constant accusation. This isn't intuition, it's anxiety. And untreated anxiety destroys relationships. Thaís knows where it comes from. Unresolved trauma. And it's getting worse. Now there's more at stake: a wife, a child, a family. Her friends are blunt. This will end in divorce if it continues. Not because she wants to leave, but because no one can live under constant suspicion. Patrick's fear of losing her is pushing her away. They try a date night, something light, an escape room. Even there, Patrick questions her behavior. The distrust is automatic now. Thaís finally breaks. She says she's exhausted, that his past is bleeding into their present, that the lack of trust is draining her. She's not trying to win an argument. She's trying to survive emotionally. Patrick admits he has a problem but excuses it by saying he's just not trusting. That's the mistake. When distrust harms others, it's not a personality trait. It's something that needs work. "I'm just like this" isn't an explanation. It's an excuse. When Patrick admits he even suspects her for going to the same places repeatedly, it becomes alarming. There is no right behavior under that system. Thaís asks the real question. After 3 years of marriage, if you don't trust me now, when will you? She's clear. This isn't sustainable. She wants therapy, real change. And she says it from commitment, not abandonment. Patrick agrees hesitantly. The future is uncertain. But one thing is clear. This won't be fixed with more control, more work, or more sacrifice from one side. It requires emotional responsibility. Patrick isn't a villain. He's wounded. But wounds don't justify hurting others. This marriage isn't dying from one fight. It's dying from accumulation from fear, avoidance, and unresolved pain. And the real question isn't whether they love each other, it's whether they're willing to change before fear destroys everything.